If a girl can't engage you in some intellectual conversation for more than 5 minutes, that I could never date that girl, let alone marry a girl like that. Well, my wife, who I ended up marrying, was like, dude, my wife could win Jeopardy every show. I'm not joking, she's that
Mhm.
smart. If I would wager that if you put her on Jeopardy right now, she would win 4 out of 5 shows. I mean, she's that
Okay.
smart. So she's a writer, she's an intellectual, and she's also witty and funny and humorous, and maybe that comes from being the oldest of six girls. And so she had to stand
Mm.
out. Maybe she had to be the leader in her tribe, whatever it was. But that is what's exciting and erotic for me is her intelligence. Because here's the thing that the young guys don't get and won't get. Like you said, they're all going to be cheating if that's what you're after. And
Yep.
when you get older, you're going to get fat. You're going to get out of shape. You're going to
Mhm.
get less attractive. Men and women. There's no way around it. You're going to get less attractive. So if you're a man and if you still want that hot perky young girl, you can get her, but you're going to buy her, and it's cheaper for you to just get an escort. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And give her $300 for some sex than to pay some girl's car payment, note, house, food, phone, credit card, blah blah blah. Because she's the same girl. She's
Yep.
just giving you attention for the money,
Mhm.
but she's gonna be sleeping with some other guy, some
Oh,
young
yeah.
guy, tall, dark, and handsome, and makes her laugh. He doesn't even have to be tall, dark, and handsome. If you can just make her laugh and he's young and fit, that's who she's going to be boning.
Mhm.
She's taking your money, but boning him. She may give you sex once in a while as a kind of reciprocatory thing. Like feels obligated to give you sex once a
Mhm.
month for the because you're spending $3,000 on her lifestyle every month or whatever it is,
Mhm.
5 grand, whatever. But she's not going to be faithful to you. That woman doesn't love you. She doesn't care about you. You're just a sucker. You're a simp. Now, if you like, you find an attractive, and there's a lot of that's another thing is like I said, there's a lot of attractive middle-aged women. I see them all. You're one of them. I see them all the time. My wife is one of them.
Thank you.
So I mean, like, if you're smart and intelligent and intellectual, funny and charming and witty or whatever, in my eyes, you're just as attractive as a 22-year-old Playboy model. Because at night, let's face it, whether I'm with the Playboy model or you or my wife or whoever it is, the lights are off when we go sleep at night. We get in bed, it's dark, the lights are off. These parts feel the same, whether they're mine on a 50-year-old or yours on a 50-year-old or 20-year-old. It's the same. But the thing that makes them feel different is what's in here and here. So what's in your
Mhm.
heart and your mind, or the emotional and psychological connection, is what makes it erotic. So or arousing. So it doesn't it's not just the physical part. The physical part as you get older is like it doesn't really even matter that much.
Mhm.
Yes, you want your partner to be semi fit and semi in shape,
Mhm.
but a few pounds here and a few pounds there and a sag here and a sag there. It doesn't matter. It's night. We get in there, we're intimate, we're in the moment. So you don't have to be. And these young guys today, I watch these shows like Fresh and Fit and stuff, and they're just like, oh, 30 years old, you're over the hill, you're a waste throwaway girl, you
Oh
burn out.
gosh. 30
Yeah,
at 30?
3. Well, they say 23 is the cutoff. Past 24, if you haven't got married and found a man, and then you're never gonna find a man. And they're just like, sure you can, but like, yeah, you're gonna find a man, but you're gonna find a sucker who's gonna pay your bills, blah blah blah. But if he's a the high value man that you want, the tall, dark, handsome, and rich guy, he has multiple options. Like a 30-year-old nurse who maybe just got out of a divorce, that she'd been in it for 10 years and she's signaled maybe she has a kid or two, whatever. He's looking at her going, she's a good potential mate because, she's only been in one long-term relationship, it didn't work out, but she's got her act together. She's smart, she's intelligent, she's educated, she's intellectual, she's funny. I could, see myself having her as a partner in life because as I age, I'm going to need a partner. I'm going to want somebody I can trust with the bank account. You know what I'm saying? If I got $100 million in the bank tomorrow, I could just tell my wife, honey, there's $100 million in the bank. Here's the bank account. Buy what you think you need, whatever. My wife wouldn't buy anything but gardening supplies. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't buy clutch purses and $500 shoes and nothing like that. She would never do that. She'd rather donate it to charity. She'd rather give it to some Christian funds or church or something. She would not. So I mean, I completely trust her. She would never steal from me. She would never take advantage of me. She would never. That's the partner you want. Now, if I'm a 50-year-old man and I'm dating a 24-year-old girl, let's say I get a 24-year-old girl. Do you think if I'm a 50-year-old man with $100 million in the bank, I can say to my 24-year-old girlfriend, here's the bank, here's a credit card, unlimited access to my $100 million to the 24-year-old girl. If I say that, she's going to pull up the next day in a $150,000 new Mercedes. She's going to be draped in gold and diamonds and clothes, and she Prada and all this. Of course, so you can't trust. That's not the girl a grown man wants. That's all I'm saying.
You fell in love with your wife through the written word, right? You guys started that way. You guys were
Mhm.
writing each other. And then when you came home and you married her, was there an adjustment period between the two of you? Like, because it's like online dating. And I don't think you've ever had to do, it doesn't sound like you had to do online dating. It's like we do online dating, we meet people, we write them, and then all this stuff, right? It goes back and forth. And then we meet the person. It's like, mm, maybe I imagine you to be something else. Maybe I spoke much more life into you. And then, so either you hang in with that online dating in person, you guys eventually connect, or you just say, ah, like, was there an adjustment period, from writing the letters, talking on the phone, and then being around her in person? Like, you get to see mannerisms, you
Strangely enough, no, not really. We knew each other so well from writing each other, so thousands of pages of letters, and getting to know each other, truly getting to know each other slowly through written word, and then on the phone every day. So no, it was
know.
we knew what to
Okay.
expect. I mean, there are a few things like my wife has joked the other day. I'm like, because she was saying something like what you just said, and I'm like, well, you knew everything about me. She's like, I didn't know you drank straight from the carton. I didn't. Uh, and then my buddy who heard her say that goes, "Well, I would have just expected that. Like, I mean, knowing him, like, how did you not just expect that? Knowing him, he's a
Mhm.
savage." And like, yeah, she's like, and he drinks straight out of the carton, and he goes for the leftovers. He just sticks a fork in and starts eating out of and puts it back in. I'm like, so what? I mean, if that's the worst thing you got to worry about as getting marrying me is the things you got to adjust to. I just little things, very, but not really. We didn't have any serious like, oh my god, I wasn't prepared for that. It was just we fit perfectly, and this is why we believe it was divine intervention.
Mhm.
Whether it be sexually compatible or just everything was, it just fit
It was.
like a puzzle, man. Boom.
Now, if you were to give dating advice for, let's say, middle-aged women like myself, like I am a grandma to two, and they have to adjust to a new man, what would that advice be? As far as, let me go a little bit deeper, because I know communication is the number one reason why relationships fail. People think it's they're cheating, finances, but it's really at the core of it is communication. We're talking, the other person's not hearing. You're saying things the other person. It's just no connection there when it comes to communication. Right. And so somebody who's, let's say, 50 years old, we're set in our ways, right? Especially if you've been single a long time. You are set in your ways. And the longer you stay single, the more you're going to be set in your ways. So somebody, let's say, I'm not single, but let's say I were, or some of my clients who are single, older, middle-aged women, right? They meet somebody, and they're settled. What advice would you give them? Like the number one thing that they could do to attract a, let's say, a good man. Despite your past, I could tell that you definitely love, you dote on your wife. So that defines a good man. You seem to be a provider. Like, you understand the role of a masculine man. You're the provider for your wife. You're the protector. I'm pretty sure it is not a street that she has to ever worry about walking down with you by her side. So you're a protector, provider. You're a masculine man. You communicate well, you're intelligent, you're all these things. You get come across a single woman that wants to attract somebody like you. What's And if she's, like I said, settled in her ways, what would be the number one advice you can give her to come out of her shell, like to open up? Or maybe she's been married 20 some years, she's newly single, she doesn't
Yeah.
know how to be in a relationship. What advice would you give her?
Well, I would say try to be open to not being stuck in your ways. Maybe changing your ways. Because if your ways that the ways that you are now hasn't worked in the past, you may need to open up to change. And whatever hasn't worked, evaluate what went wrong there. And maybe when you see it coming in this new man or relationship, you might like, you know what, maybe I should not be so combative or expect this from him or require this from him or whatever it is. Be a little more open and flexible in terms of because he may be set in his ways too, but you're gonna want to be flexible, But I think focusing on what's more important than the physical is the mental and the emotional connection that you make with the man is more important. Because if you make that mental and emotional connection with a man, especially a mature man, then he's not going to be that concerned about your physical connection because it's going to be there regardless. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be physically attracted to you if he likes you, if he really likes you. How's it? Why would he like you? Well, you got to be funny, you got to be witty. You got to be open to like spontaneous whatever. You know, be spontaneous. Go back to your youth. Go do some. Go hiking. Go swimming. Go do
Mhm.
something fun. Take a trip, whatever, and enjoy it. And don't be so negative. Stop being so critical of people and the world and yourself and him. That's one of the things. Don't be so critical of him. He's probably trying very hard to impress you, and so consider that. You know, he's most of these men are even though they can
Mhm.
be, you can be masculine as can be, but you may still be fragile emotionally. You know what I'm saying? A man still has his emotions. So, but go out of your way to make that man feel wanted and make him feel appreciated and make him feel loved. That's the main thing. Every man, just like a woman, all they want is love. If you make him feel loved and make him believe he's loved, he'll give you the world and go to nine. He'll take a bullet for you.
I love that you said that. That is something that my man says that, yeah, that's important to him. Your last few words, that is exactly what he says. You know, he wants to be appreciated, he wants to feel wanted, and he wants to feel like he's loved. And I
Oh
think
man,
as women, I'll be honest, we forget that. We really do,
yeah.
because a lot of us are taking care of our families, raising children, our careers and ourselves. We forget that that we also have to take care of our men. So I'm so glad you said that because women need to hear that. Now when you got home, and I'm pretty sure everything was lovey-dovey because everything is new, as far as, yes, you guys have written each other a lot of love letters and you've gotten to know each other, but what happened when y'all had that first argument? Now, did you talk about it up front, like, this is how I argue, this is how I argue? Or did you guys, just have an argument and you figured each other out?
You won't believe this because it doesn't sound realistic, but we don't have arguments. I mean, there was one thing that she did one time that got me angry, and it was rightly so. It wasn't anything horrible, but when I first started promoting my books and myself as a brand stuff, I got a lot of women reaching out to me, you know, probably inappropriately, but I was naive. I didn't know about social media and the girls DMing me all the time. And I was just trying to be nice. I'm just being nice, talking back to them. And she's like, these girls, I'm like, she's just asking me. And she's like, these girls are trying to work their way into your good graces and they're using their emotional vulnerability to get you to, and it's all bull crap. You can't trust these hoes. I'm like, well, I'm just being nice. No, 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 no. And so there was like arguments there, and she get mad if she found out or saw my phone. I've been talking to some random girl on Facebook Messenger or something where I was never inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes the girls were, and that made her mad. So I won't say there was really arguments, but we don't argue. We don't get in any fights. We just don't. I mean, I'm very blessed in regard to that. Here's the thing: if to be honest with you, if I was in a relationship where I was constantly fighting and arguing, I'd get out of the relationship. That's just me. I mean, there's a lot of fish in the sea. I'm still semi attractive,
You're a good
and
looking dude. Absolutely.
thank you. I think I could attract another woman if I
Mhm.
really put myself out there. So if I was fighting with my wife all the time, I'd be like, "Listen, ain't working out, man. We're always fighting. We're
Mhm.
always yelling at each
Mhm.
other. It's not worth it. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to come home and fight. I don't want to fight ever. I just want to enjoy my life. And if it ain't with you, it's with somebody else. But if we're fighting, then we're the wrong fit. And I think that's something people should consider. If you're constantly in fighting with your spouse, husband, wife,
Mhm.
girlfriend, whatever, then you're probably not the right fit. I mean, it's just to say that occasionally you might get in an argument, or you know, you might have a disagreement on something,
Mhm.
which is fine. That's totally normal. But if it's like a regular thing where it happens every week or every day, then it's not working out, man. Just leave the relationship, find another one.
So, do you think you guys don't argue because I don't like to argue. If I have to raise my voice, I don't know. This
Yeah,
ain't
me
gonna
neither.
work for me because I'm not gonna sit around here, but this has come with years of adjustment. Now, did I used to argue, yell, curse, fight? Yeah, yes, back in the day. But
Mhm.
now I'm older now. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not raising my voice. I'm not, no, I'm not calling you out of your name. You're not calling me out of my name. We're not going to do that. But do you think that because you have grown, matured, learned, and she seems to be a really good woman, um, the lack of arguments, is it just because y'all know how to, because there's disagreements, but you guys just know how to communicate those disagreements. You listen to her. I mean, how does that conversation go when there's that she may do something that you don't like because she is great as she sounds, she ain't perfect, right? And you're not
Yeah.
perfect. But there's things that like how do you come to her and say, you know what? I don't know. I don't really like what you did. How do you approach that so it's not an argument?
You won't believe it. We don't have really any disagreements almost ever. But here's the thing: I've never been a combative or argumentative type of dude. I mean, I could fight when I was young with dudes. I hated bullies and fake tough guys, and I was a gangster. So if I saw a guy acting tough in a club who I could tell he wasn't, I must start a fight with him and knock him out. I was that guy. But I just have never been argument. So I've only been in two relationships in my life. My first one was for 13 years with a girl who I was engaged with, and I got locked up. And then I went to prison, and then now I've been with this woman for 14 years. Neither one of those relationships did I ever fight or argue with them either ever. So the first girl would get mad at me when she caught me cheating on her about 20 times over the 13 years. So naturally, she had a right to be angry and yell at me, and I'd try to lie and debate it or whatever. And say I didn't, whatever. So that's. But far as like arguing over things, no, we never did. And so my wife today, no, I would never want to be around somebody who is combative, and I think that's a huge uh, um, bullet point for a woman to consider. I don't know about all men. I'll speak for myself. That's all. But I consider myself a good man and semi high value man, and I will tell you this: I won't tolerate a woman who's going to be combative and arguing and fighting, and that ruins my day. I don't want my day ruined. I don't want to fight. I don't want. So my goal has always been to find a woman who gets me and I get her, and we're not going to fight. Me and my wife, there's nothing we're going to argue about because we see the world through the same lens, through the same prism. I'm saying we see things politically, faithfully, economically, everything we see, we agree on. So there's nothing really to debate. Everything I agree, like I think or believe, she does too. So there's nothing really to debate. I mean, we could debate on what a restaurant to go to, or what movie to watch. Like if we want to watch a movie, we don't even own a TV, so we don't really watch TV. We don't even own a TV. I don't have Netflix and nothing like that. Once in a while, we'll have a date night and we're like, let's watch a movie. And I'm like, got any good war movie? Yeah, I want to watch a war movie. I was like, shoot 'em up, bang bang. And she's like, no, we're gonna watch a romance. I'm like, come on, man, I don't want some freaking romance. There's got to be something better. Action heroes. And of course, if I see that she's like, come on, we always watch it. And if it's her heart seems to be set on the romantic comedy or something, like, all right, and watch it. Watch a romantic comedy. I'll take the L. You know what I'm saying? And like, see how I'm able to, kind of bend a little bit. All right, I'll take the L. We'll watch the rom com. I'm good. No arguing, no debating, no anger. Just all right. If I see her conviction is I want to watch a romantic comedy tonight. All right, cool. I'm happy if you're happy. Let's watch it. Pop the corn.
And I do consider you a high value man. A high value man has nothing to do with women be thinking that, oh, he's got to be 6'6". Oh, he has to be a bearded man. And it's like, that's not a high value man. Oh, his paycheck. I get in debates with that. I actually was in a Facebook. I told my girl, I was in a Facebook group, one of those other Facebook groups. And the lady asked about and she asked a question. I completely disagreed with her question. They kicked me out the group. And that's fine, because I wasn't disrespectful, but she was talking about hey, I met a man, he's a truck driver and I'm educated and I don't think that he's going to be able to financially support me in my lifestyle because I'm very independent. I'm like, well, hold on now, hold on, horsey. What does his paycheck have to do with his ability to provide for you? Women get stuck
Yeah.
on this dollar amount. He must
Well,
be,
not only that, if she said she was an independent woman, then you won't need his money.
and you won't need him either. Those are the women that I work with, those who are self-proclaimed. Now, I look, ain't nobody more independent or more masculine than me. I have raised one, two, three boys. I'm divorced. I have two grandsons. I got a big boy dog sitting right here. I got two nephews. I am daddy's girl. I'm a leader in corporate America. Okay, I lead a team of application developers and software testers, right, for a very large company. So trust and believe, as I have said many times, my book, I don't have it right next to me, but my book is, ladies, leave your at home. You leave your thing at home. There's nobody more masculine than me when it comes to that. But if that is how you lead women with your penis, if that is how you lead with your own energy, your own masculine energy, then trust and believe, that man is going to leave you right there for you to
Mm,
hug at your own masculinity. Because a high value man, he wants to provide, he wants to protect. He's adjusting, he's compromising, like you said. He's
mhm.
and he wants to learn, right? He wants to learn, he wants to invest in himself, and he's committed to, like, he has standards. A high value man has standards. He's not going to go
Mhm.
out and do X, Y,
That's
Z.
true.
Just
And
he
he's
has
not going to tolerate. He's not going to want a high value man is not going to want a used and abused girl.
as a high value man with a good woman, and you've been in two long term relationships. What keeps you faithful?
All right, that's a great question. First, my commitment to God. I'm a man of faith. I believe God kept me alive all my life. When I should have been killed, I've been shot, stabbed, hit in the head with baseball bats. I've been, God knows, I mean, just He knows. I had a gun put to my head and pulled the trigger and it jammed. I mean, just crazy stuff you wouldn't believe. So I thank God. But most of all, I know God made my wife for me. He built her specifically for me. He all her life experiences leading up to when she met me were basically specifically designed for her to jib with me. So God did that. He built me this amazing woman specifically for me, who could handle me, who could support me, who could wait for me, who could be faithful to me, who would accept all my quirks and faults, which I got a lot. I've arrested development. A lot of part of my psychology that didn't develop because I was either a criminal and a gangster, in my teens and 20s. Then I went to prison and never developed that. I never even paid taxes until I was 44 years old. So, I mean, I still couldn't pay my bills right now. I don't know how to pay bills. She pays, the money, she handles the money and the banking and everything like that. So he made her for that to help, be for me. But that and also the main thing is, so God gives you a gift that's this beautiful, this special, this rare, this unique, once in a lifetime gift. It's a once in a lifetime gift. You can blow it and you'll lose it and never find nothing like that again. I'm not going to risk. I made a promise to God when I took my marriage vows. When I was wed, I said, God, this is it, better or worse, long. This is the one I want. I won't cheat on her. I know if I was to cheat, which would be easy and instinctive thing to do, my house, like, calamity would befall me. I know my life would come crumbling down because I made a deal with God. It's like the deal with the devil. The devil's saying, "Come on, just do it, just one time. She won't know. You're in Dallas. You got a hotel room. No one's there. You bone the chick. Who cares? Whatever. I'll know, and God will know." That's the main reason. And the second reason, which may be just as important, is that I would never want to hurt my wife. And when you love somebody that much, when you care about somebody that much, when you truly love them, it's just like your child. Would you ever do anything that would intentionally harm your child? Of course you wouldn't, right? Because you love them. That's unconditional love. You would never do anything that would intentionally harm your child. So cheating on my wife, the fact that if she did find out, it would destroy her, and she would, and I would never want to hurt her like that. So that's the main reason that why I wouldn't, between God and her.
I want to give you an opportunity to talk about, where can people find your books. Here's your time to shine, to share. Where can people find you and your books to learn, more about you?
I can't talk about what it is yet, unfortunately, because they haven't done official Hollywood press release and they haven't done the PR, gotten the marketing strategy set. But it does star Armando Sante. It's supposed to be a 10-part series, option for season two. Hopefully, go to Netflix or Showtime or Stars or something like that. So there's that. By the way, I wrote it. I wrote the story. It's a really good story, and you're gonna love the story. If you like my story, you'll like that story. That's all I'll say. So my books, To Be a King, Volume 1 and 2. Is that found on Amazon? You can go to my website. The best thing anyone can do is go to my website, gunnerdetroit.com. So gunnerdetroit.com is my, maybe you can put it up in the description or something. And then you go to my website and it has my books, audio books, my apparel line. I own Art Thing Apparel, and we sell everything from hats and hoodies to jackets to leathers to tracksuits. We sell a little bit of everything based on your city. Art Thing Apparel, take pride in where you come from. I do have an Instagram, the real Gunner Detroit. My original Instagram got hacked, so I just kind of started over with it. But so I do have a TikTok, Gunner Detroit. I have an Instagram, the real Gunner Detroit. I have a Facebook author page called Author Gunner Allen Lindbloom. Book to Be a King has its own page with like 5,000 subscribers, so check it out. And then I have a YouTube channel, Gunner Detroit, on my YouTube. It's got 10,000 subscribers. And so,
Okay.
anyways, you'll have to check it out.
Absolutely. And yes, we're going to link it in the show details. So, Gunnar, I have thoroughly enjoyed our interview. I appreciate your time and opportunity for allowing me to interview you. So, I definitely thank you for that.
My
Um,
pleasure.
and thank you, everyone, for joining another episode of Let's Be Mindful, here we talk about everything related to relationships. So, thank you, and everyone enjoy the rest of your day.